What's up, Mecha fans, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have the big one, the MCM London 2024 haul video, where I have so much stuff to go over. I literally bankrupted myself, and that is no joke. Before we dive into all of this stuff that I picked up, including art, Gunpla, signed things, all that kind of stuff, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're a fan of Mecha anime content. I want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. And also keep an eye out because I will have vlogs relating to MCM. The first one should have already gone up, and I'll have day 2 and day 3 ones as well. I am actually going to kick off with the signed stuff, but I'm going to show one thing first of all before we get into that, and that is actually my pass. Now, the exciting thing about this, you guys can see, my very first creator pass, which you guys probably knew ahead if you watched any of my MCM related videos or follow me on Instagram or anything like that where I've been posting about it. You guys will know that this is my first time being accredited as a creator, getting a kind of official pass and being recognized for my stuff here on YouTube, which is really, really cool. So of course, thank you to MCM and EGX for recognizing that and gifting me, accepting my application, for a creator pass, which was really cool. So now let's dive into stuff that you guys want to see. First of all, though, I will go over my 2 signed Funko Pops that I got. First one, now not Mecha related, and there's going to be a lot of stuff in this video that isn't Mecha related, but you guys are going to have to live with it, because I just want to show everything off. But yeah, we have Silco from Arcane, signed by, I believe his name is Jason Spizak, who is the voice of Silco, who's essentially the main villain, the main villain antagonist, if you will, of Arcane, of course, the League of Legends based show, which I actually do have a review of all 3 parts up on the channel if you guys want to go check that out. They're still up somewhere on YouTube on this channel. Really, really cool. Initially, I wanted him to sign it in orange, but unfortunately, it was just a standard Sharpie, so it wasn't really showing up very well. So he said, usually he does a copper color, so I was like, if you think that's good, do that. And honestly, when you get it in a good light, this thing looks really cool, and it looks really nice. It also blends really well with the colours on the box. So down here, I guess it's a bit more of a gold, but it kind of links with a copper colour. I don't know, I think it just looks really good. And it's a great looking Funko Pop as well. Pop that one off over to the side, and of course he was a nice guy. Chatted to him for a little bit as well. He actually voices a character in Star Wars Clone Wars, which I'm a huge fan of, so I've got to talk to him about Star Wars a little bit, which is really cool. Next up though, we got a Amy Rose Funko Pop signed by Lisa Ortiz, I don't know how you pronounce the surname, but she was the original voice actor, original voice actor for Amy. Basically, she was the person that voiced Amy during my era of Sonic, so early 2000s, so Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure games. I think she voiced her in there. So the Sonic games that I personally grew up with, Sonic 06 as well, those ones that I grew up with, she was the voice of Amy there. So to me, she is the voice of Amy, because that's the voice that I associate most with the character. But yeah, got a signed Funko Pop from her. Very, very cool. Some, nice extra design work and stuff on it. She's even drawn a little rose on the side of the box, and done a multitude of colours where she's got a signature in pink, but then she's written Amy Rose and put some love hearts around it in red. I think it looks really great. It's I love it when voice actors, celebrities kind of go that extra mile to designing the stuff rather than just a straight up signature. They've kind of gone the extra mile to either do little doodles on it or do a combination of different colours representing the character. I love when people do that, and it's awesome. Moving on though, you guys will have seen this thing before, but I want to show it off again because I got a new signature on it, and that is something Mecha related. It's my Witch from Mercury display from the first season, the first key visual, which I did get a few signatures of this at Anime Con UK back in June. You guys can kind of see the signatures maybe up here. We've got Shadik's signature over on this side, Miora's signature down here. We've got Nerea's signature, and then the latest one that we added, which I'll show you guys, Martin, who is of course not on this key visual, but he's the head of Earth House, voiced by Matt Shipman. He did it in red. His choice. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't really mind. I don't really associate any colour with Martin as such. If I was going to choose one, it would have been brown just because of his hair colour, but red's fine with me. And it actually shows up pretty well as well. So that's all the signed stuff. We'll now move on to, I guess, art and various other things. I've essentially split this thing up into 2 segments for the haul. I've got the Gunpla and everything else. We're talking about everything else currently, and then we'll get over to the Gunpla. So first up, I actually bought my very first tote bag. Now, I've used tote bags before, but I've never actually bought one myself. But I really love this design. So This is a Gundam tote bag. Very, very cool, from the artist Hey I'm Helly on Instagram, who I will try to link like all of the artists and stuff that I bought stuff from in this video, but she's really cool. This is a really cool tote bag, and I will actually have a print that I bought from her to show off as well. So that looks really cool, and I'm very happy to actually like have a tote bag now. It's the only one that I do own. We got some rubber ducks, but they're not just any rubber ducks. First, we've got a Sonic rubber duck, and these are actually like mini versions, so you can see that they are pretty small, but I think they're really, really cool. So you guys probably heard of Tubs before. They make like rubber ducks based off like different franchise things, so video games. I think they've done some anime ones, but I could be wrong. TV shows, movies, all that kind of stuff. We've also got the Doomslayer, really, really cool. So they had like a full collection of Sonic ones. So they had like Knuckles, Tails, Supersonic as well. But I just thought, get a bit of mixed representation of different franchises, and I do love Doom, and I'm very excited for the next Doom game to come out. Dark Ages, I think it's called. That's going to be really, really cool. Next up, though, we shall move on to some, like, pin, stickers, acrylic kind of stuff. First up, I'll actually start with a sticker, and it's a little Godzilla, but like, I don't know whether the pose is based off this necessarily, but it reminds me heavily of the One Piece meme where you've got Tony Chopper crying into the air. Next up, though, we got an acrylic standee, a little mini one. So this is like 2 inches tall, which I like it. And it's Clive Rosfield from Final Fantasy 16 game that I absolutely love. And I love Clive as a character. Really, really cool. Very, very happy to have that. And then next up, we do have something mecha related. I'm actually going to get it out of the clear plastic bag little thing. So this is a little acrylic charm. There we go. Of, if it will focus on, there we go. Rei Ayanami from Evangelion. Really, really cool. I'll try and hold it like this. It's probably better to show you guys. I love it. In terms of pilots, she is my personal favourite of the 3. Or of the 4 if you count Kaoru, or of the 5 if you count Mari. Next up there, we've got a couple of pins, which I didn't actually buy a whole lot of pins or really artist-based stuff, to be honest, at least compared to other cons. But we got some ASDF movie pins. Now, for those that are kind of around my age and kind of grew up with like the early phases of YouTube, you guys will know ASDF, and I'm sure there's plenty of other like later generations that know of it, even maybe older generations than me. But ASDF was like, it was like one of the peaks of early YouTube. You had like, well, especially when it came to like comedy stuff on YouTube, you had Smosh, you had ASDF, you had like Charlie the Unicorn and things like that. That was like my era of growing up with YouTube. And ASDF was definitely a part of that. And yeah, Tomska was there. I didn't actually meet him myself, but I kind of saw him in passing type of thing, talking to other fans, but I did pick up a couple of pins, which I'll actually show off more in detail, tell you guys. So we've got the Mind Turtle, which I guess is a maybe slightly more recent addition to the ASDF movie universe. It wasn't like one of the OGs. I think he came in like movie 5 or something, so it's not exactly new, but it's also not like super classic in terms of the series. One that is pretty classic, though, we got the Pie Flavor, which, for those that have seen all the ASDF movies, you'll know this one, though. An absolute classic. I would have liked to get the I Like Trains one, because I feel like that's probably the most iconic. But unfortunately, that one had sold out. We've got some more stickers. It's actually a full sticker sheet. I got this thing for free. So for those that have heard of the game Rogue Flight, which has actually just released, it is essentially like a twin-stick shooter type of thing. Very, like, VHS-inspired. Mixed with like an 80s, 90s anime, plus a synth soundtrack. For those that are fans of Mecha, and I guess more so if you're fans of Macross, it's kind of got that vibe. So if you do like Macross, Rogue Flight's probably a game that you'll like, or at least you'll like the vibe of it. Next up though, we got a clear file of Kaoru. Now I didn't buy this thing, I actually did the Ichiban Kuji, you can see down here. So for those that like, as and when you watch my vlogs, or if some of them are out now, there was an Evangelion Ichiban Kuji. There was a bunch of different Ichiban Kujis. I personally went with the Evangelion one, so that was one of the prizes that I got, which was definitely a lesser prize. Wouldn't have been my preference, but we'll have another prize to talk about pretty soon as well. Next up, I've got a Gundam art print. Now, like I mentioned earlier with the tote bag, this is actually from that same artist. It's essentially the RX-78-2, like, pointing down a little dog. It's really cute, and I gotta be honest, the quality of these prints is so good. Like, the thickness of the card, this is, like, my personal, like, preference of quality, if you will, or thickness when it comes to the card. There's nothing wrong with more flimsy stuff, you know, especially if you're putting them in a frame. But I personally like the quality to be like thick card material. Next up though, we got some other prints, which I'm actually going to take these out of this big plastic bag that they ended up in. Not really a bag, it's more so like a sleeve, plastic sleeve, I guess you could call it. So these are actually all from the same artist, Ignition Industries. Very, very cool stuff. I was not aware of them before MCM, but when I was looking through the artist alley list, they were on there, and I really love their art. So first up, we've got an Evangelion print. Essentially, well, Katsuragi Misato, or Misato Katsuragi, depending on how you put the name round. Yeah, so Katsuragi Misato's journey, and then you have her right next to a car. So she's got the artist has like a bunch of these kind of different anime characters with like vehicles. Some of them related to them, and some of them that maybe have in like their respective show or movie. For example, Akira Bike. But also some of them are just kind of designed after the characters. So there's like a Gojo one where it's like a light blue NASCAR type of thing. But yeah, I went with this one. Really, really cool. My first piece of Misato artwork, I guess, as well, which is pretty rare to come across. So whenever I come across like anything Misato, I don't necessarily always buy it, but I usually like take more of an interest into that because it's quite rare. You get so much Evangelion like artwork and just merchandise out there, but you really don't see a whole lot of Misato stuff, so we need more of it. I'm very excited for the Misato Nendroid to eventually launch. Got a couple of Gundam ones here. First up, we got the Senanju, which looks very, very cool. I think like the colours on this look fantastic. Like that red pops so much, and I kind of get it up close. It's almost got like a bit of a 3D cell shaded look to it, in a weird way. It's really cool. I like it. And then to go along with that, of course, you know, we couldn't just get the Senanjo on its own. We had to get like its rival, if you will, and that is the Unicorn Gundam, which again, this looks awesome. This looks great. They did have like Endless Waltz Wing Gundam and also Charles Zaku 2, and there might have been another one, but I can't remember. But I thought, you know, if I'm going to get two of them, it makes sense to kind of do rival ones. Now, if they had like, you know, the Endless Waltz Wing and then Endless Waltz Epion Gundam, maybe I would have gone for that instead, but, you know, Unicorn Gundam Senanju look really fantastic. Next up though, this is the final art print. So this is the Halo Raptor poster. Now for those who don't know what this is actually a fan film, of course, based on the Halo franchise, and they actually did have a panel there, which was one of the last things I did at the convention, which you guys will see a little bit of that in the day 3 vlog. But yeah, it was really cool. Like, if you're a fan of Halo, you're probably going to want to keep an eye on this because they're doing some good stuff there. It evokes the feeling of Halo whilst like injecting new life into it in a way where it's grounded, gritty, realistic, very Reach feeling. And Halo Reach is my personal favorite game of all time. But of course, obviously, then it is my favorite Halo game of all time. So it's kind of like that, but taking it that little step further, dealing with like a time where there was a lot of insurgency. So very, very cool stuff. Very excited to see it. They did show off a trailer which wasn't completely finished and still rendering needed, but you got the general feeling. And I get the feeling that like these guys, they know what they're doing. This fan film or this fan project, because it's going to be a series, is far bigger than it was initially intending to be, but like in a very, very good way, because there's a lot of interest in it. There's a lot of people interested in working on it with them. So yeah, and the guys there seem like really talented people, but also seemed like they knew Halo, knew the stuff, and were excited about it. And that's always very important for people to be excited about the work. So I think that's about everything I have to show off within this pile of stuff. We do have some more stuff though, so I'm going to get it, and I'll be back with you guys in a second.
A few moments later.
Alright, here it is. Here's the giant stack of Gunpla that I've got, and also something else on top. But I've got something here as well. Now this is a big bag, as you can see, Crunchyroll bag. Now in here is about 10 gashapons. I'm not going to show them off in this video. I'm actually going to save them for a separate video where we're essentially going to unbox them all. They are all Gundam ones, I want to say. Yeah, they're all Gundam ones, acrylic stands, a couple of figure things as well. So we're going to unbox them all in a video coming hopefully quite soon. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive into the Gunpla. And first off, something that's not Gunpla related. This is the other Ichiban Kuji prize I got. The big A prize, which is the Unit 2 figure. Now, this is the top prize you could get, aside from the last one prize, which I don't really know whether they class the last one prize as the top prize, but there's only like a very specific way in which you can get it, where essentially you get the last ticket, you get whatever's on that ticket plus the last one prize. I think that's how it works anyway. As much as this was great to get as a figure, it made getting everything else home kind of difficult because it's big, which I was already going to struggle getting things home, and I struggled even more. But we made it, we're alive, and everything went well, and everything is in relatively good condition, not broken. Some of the boxes are a little bit crushed for the Gunpla, but that doesn't really matter. But anyway, let us now dive into the actual Gunpla itself. So, everything I picked up, having a look at it, yeah, it was all exclusive stuff. I wasn't going to pick up anything but exclusives, because everything else I could just get, delivered. So some of this is from Bandai themselves, some of it's from Rivals Corner. First up though, we got the high-grade Cosmic Era Gundam Seed Destiny, Destiny Gundam Heine Western Flus, custom clear colour. Quite a mouthful, but yeah, this is essentially Heine's custom Destiny, which doesn't actually make an appearance in the show, it's just something that they made afterwards. It's essentially an orange Destiny Gundam, which is one of my personal favourite designs. Probably in the Gundam franchise period, really, but definitely in Seed Destiny. So I'm very excited to build this, and like I said, it's clear colour as well. A lot of these are clear colour, come to think of it. I kind of want like the standard Heine Western Flus one, the non-clear colour version of the Destiny. I think it's a P Bandai one. On a very similar topic, we got the standard Destiny Gundam clear colours. This is the standard like blue, red, yellow one, but it's the clear colour version. Very, very cool, very excited to build that. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the Destiny Gundam, so we had to pick up both of them. Moving on though, we've got one that I actually got from Rivals Corner. Again, this is one that I was definitive on. That is the Delta Gundam Mark II, or I don't know whether it's called the Mark II or 2. So this is essentially the Delta Gundam, but in red. We've got a couple more of Bandai's exclusives. First up, we've got the high-grade Jagan. Is it Jagan or Jagan? I'm not 100% sure how it's announced, but pronounced, should I say, but it's like a grunt suit from Shark's Counterattack. And this is the Axis Shock Image Core version. So if I show you guys here, you can kind of see slightly like darker yellow and burgundy kind of colours. Almost looks like a bit more vintage in a way, like it's got that kind of old vintage colour look to it. But I think it looks really cool, and I'm very excited to build this. Also, really awesome artwork of it, like pushing against the Axis. And you guys can see Gundam Side F exclusive. So this one actually does come from Side F, which is where the big statue of, well, something that we're actually about to show off pretty soon. But it's where one of the big Gundam statues is in Japan. In Fukuoka, I think is how you pronounce it. Next up though, we got another clear colour. We got the Gundam Aerial clear colour. Now, I didn't know this was actually going to be there as an exclusive, but yeah, there was quite a lot of exclusives there that they didn't announce prior. Like, there was a Master Grade Luna Maria Zaku Warrior. There was also a titanium finish version of the Real Grade Crossbone X1, which is really cool. I think there was like a Sazabi clear colour. There was quite a few other ones, but anyway, Gundam Aerial clear colour. Very, very cool. Very, very excited about this one. I love the Aerial, not only as a design, but the kit of it's great. We got to the SD Cross Silhouette Zaku 2 clear colour version. So, essentially the Cross Silhouette SD ones are just like slightly taller and bigger versions. So, they're not quite like, they still kind of have that feeling of like the kind of chibi SD kind of look, but they're just a little bit bigger. I don't really get it. But anyway, this is going to look really cool. I don't think there's any pictures really of it on the box, like the actual suit itself. You don't really get them on these P Bandai kits or on the clear colour kits, but it looks really cool and I'm very excited to build it again. This one was from Rivals Corner alongside the Delta Gundam. And then next up, we got a couple of Haropla kits, my first ever Haropla kits actually. Unfortunately, one of them I wasn't able to get, and that's the Momo Haro. For some reason, it was sold out like straight away. Like I didn't quite go to the Bandai booth first, but I want to say I started queuing there at maybe 11 AM. Keep in mind that for the general public, it didn't even open till 12, come to think of it. For people with priority or exhibitor passes or whatever, people that got like to go in early, essentially like they started at 10 a.m. there, and then by 11 a.m. the Memoir Horror was sold out, which I don't really understand. I don't know if they actually didn't get it in, so they just kind of had to cross it out as out of stock, but it wasn't in. I don't really get it. Anyway, moving on. Here are the actual horror placates that I did manage to pick up. We got the clear color green one, so this is of course like your typical basic Harrow, which again I don't own, so it's pretty cool to have, and it's gonna be a clear color version, so I'm very excited to build that. And then we got the black tri version, which again this is gonna be a black one. It's gonna be a clear black one, and yeah, it's got some star design on it as well. So yeah, like I said, I've never built a Harrow kit before. I've never bought a Harrow kit before. So I'm very excited to get to building it. I would really like the Gundam base exclusive Harrow, which is like white and blue. I think that looks really cool, so I would very much like to get that one day as well. And then last but certainly not least, this is the big purchase, and not only in size but in price. Aside from paying for autographs, I think this is the most expensive thing that I bought, like single thing anyway. I knew as soon as they announced this was going to be exclusive, I wanted it. RX-93 FF New Gundam. Now this is the one that, like I said earlier, this is based off the statue just outside the Gundam F store, or where the Gundam F store is, should I say, in Fukuoka, Japan. Really badass looking. I mean, this still looks great. I am so excited to build it. I've wanted a real grade, like, New Gundam of sorts, because I've heard it's a fantastic kit, and of course it's an iconic mobile suit and a fantastic design. I cannot wait to actually get the standard New Gundam and build that as well. I am super excited to build this thing. I think it's going to look great, and it's probably like, when it comes to kits that I really want, like, I don't want to say grails because it's not that difficult to get hold of, but yeah, this is a top one for me in terms of like one that I'd want, especially in terms of bigger ones and like, you know, kind of spending a little bit more on them. But as you can see, I bought a lot of Gunpla here. I still have a massive backlog of Gunpla to build, so now we have even more. But you know what? I had a great time. You guys will see from the vlogs. I just had a great time at MCM. It's probably the best con I've been to, just because, you know, it's probably the biggest one I've been to. There was the most amount there. Now's the time to get to building and set up all this art stuff that I've got, and probably try to do some more sorting because the room's still a bit of a mess. But anyway, there we have it. That is my haul for MCM for October 2024. Before I get out of here, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're a fan of Mecha anime content. I want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. And also, if you went to MCM as well, head on down to the comment section below. Let me know what you got up to. Did you have a good time? And of course, what did you buy? Like, did you get any exclusive Gunpla kits? And if so, which ones? Did you buy any art? All that kind of stuff. I would love to know all about it. Also, go follow me on Instagram, Mecha_chat_YT, because if you guys want to send me like pictures of your hauls or anything like that, I'd really love to see it, because I'm always interested, especially if you've got like art that maybe I didn't see there. I'm always interested to see that kind of stuff. So like I said, head on down to the comment section below, let me know about all that stuff, but also go follow me on Instagram. And if you want to DM me any stuff over there, feel free to do so. Thank you once again for tuning into Mecha Chat today. I'll see you guys next time.